Hey, ladies, gentlemen. Maybe none of the above, I don't know. Hey, I'm a Volvo enthusiast, kind of. I try to do as much maintenance as I can to save as much money as possible. I'm sure a lot of you get that concept. YouTube, the greatest thing ever made. Some videos good, some not so good. If you own a Volvo and you've worked on your car, I presume you're familiar with Robert DIY. He's like the Volvo guru from years back up to current. So my task today was changing the auto an antenna on a Volvo 850, a 96 Volvo 850. The antenna, it's got the powered antenna. That's what I was trying to say. And Robert did one on it, but there were a couple things that just didn't quite make sense to me. It wasn't lining up when I tried to do it, of course. So I've been an hour and a half trying to do it without breaking the motor, etc., etc. A couple things I want to point out that would have been really helpful to clarify when you get ready to do this. The primary thing was I was trying to get the old antenna out, which I would have thought would have been the easiest portion of it. His came right out, as I remember. It was a while ago I reviewed it. I'm just getting around to doing the job. So what I've done, I purchased the antenna. It's the basic. This is what you've probably seen. You don't have to get the whole assembly. You can just get the this is a cord, that's what the motor engages in. And there's little teeth on the white one side of this, which becomes relevant in just a minute. I'll show you something else, another part two, so to speak, that would have been really helpful to know. So basically, here's the antenna, and as you're probably gonna witness as well, you may have this situation where a portion of this is going to be sticking out. Mine was, I had like, I don't know, 6 inches. It had broken off, and I could slide it up and down a little bit, but I couldn't get it out. I mean, it would just kind of stop and tunk, and this is pressed on. You can tell it's factory. And I mean, I turmoiled with it. I made a little dent in it. I thought maybe the tube unscrews. But no, I was like, no, I'm starting to damage it. It can't be that complicated. So ultimately, I looked at the new one really closely, and what you'll see is what's going on is there's actually this sleeve. Robert does mention it, but it's not clear in the video for me of exactly how it works. And ultimately, it's just a little piece. It's got a rise on the end of it. It's just a little bit thicker. And what happens is that whole assembly, ultimately, you feed your cord down in, and that little section, I'm sorry about the camera work here, I'm trying to do 3 things at once, but ultimately you'll end up with this piece slides down into that and is a compression fit. And all you will see after that's in there, well, there you can see it, mine's loosened up, is see how that's all you see. That's what I had. I was like, so I ended up taking the existing one and just keep banging it. I put some WD-40 or PB Blaster or whatever, something equivalent, try to help it out. Just doesn't do any good to do on the inside, because as you'll see, what happens is this little, now I won't be able to get it out. Oh, there it goes. See, that little sleeve comes right out. That was the critical part. Then the whole antenna, because this, ultimately, when you install it, is there, and this is what, when you hold this, see that little brass piece at the bottom? When you slide it up, it hits. That's what keeps it in. This is compressed in the stem of the vehicle. So that's basically, so that would have been helpful to understand that, because I just couldn't figure out how to get it out. I was afraid of banging it and ramming it. So that's what works for that. Part 2 of this is critical. Robert just like feeds it in, and I was like, well, it seems pretty critical which way it goes in, because there's only cogs are on one side. So I'll just show you this. What happens is ultimately this, I don't know. I just had it together. Sorry about that. Hold on just a second. What I'm trying to show is those are the teeth that goes down inside, and it only goes one way when it feeds. It feeds on this side right here. It feeds in and then it loops around and engages. But this is where it comes down the chute and the teeth engage on that. So just make note before you remove it. I think it's mounted, I believe it's mounted this way up against it. So you want to have your teeth facing to the rear of the car, as though this were the back of the left corner of the vehicle by the trunk. You want to have your teeth facing, that would be forward. So I'm kind of messing this part up, but just make note that that this is how it goes inside, and there's only one teeth, and it matters how you feed it. In fact, as I remember, you'll kind of keep poking and it will stop right there until those, I think the slot is made so the cord will only go in one way to allow it to feed properly. I believe that's what happened. Let me try it, see what. And the main point here being that once you've seen it, it's like it will be helpful. So I'm going to feed it so that it would line up with those teeth. Yeah, there it goes. Well, no, you can feed it anyway, but that's sometimes just seeing it really helps a lot. It does me, I know for sure. I'm trying to get this so you can see the cord feeding. There it goes. See that? And once it's rotated properly, those teeth will engage. There's fine cogs in there. I can't even rotate it. I'm terrible at camera work, guys. In fact, I got it just sitting on the trunk. So just make note, even take a picture if you have to, as it's mounted, so you'll know relative to this that if it's this way, the cogs on the inside, so the teeth would want to feed it in, would want to face to the front of the car. If it's mounted this way, so this motor part is to the rear of the car, then you're going to want to feed the notch part towards the rear of the car. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. The main thing being, though, again, was this part here, trying to figure out. I just didn't understand. I thought it was factory made. You can't do it. You got to buy the whole thing and on. But that's not true. You can just get that sleeve out in it. And mine came out just by slamming it like a ramrod. It only took 3 or 4 times and it popped right out. So again, sorry for all the confusion. Clearly I'm not a good photographer, but maybe a couple of my points, as I pointed out to you, you can kind of take it from there and run with it and save you some aggravation. Anyway, good luck. Calling from Portland, Maine. All right, have a good one, guys. Later.